Hey guys, it's Josh with SPM, the Construction CFO, and today I wanted to show you how to break down your numbers, the four that matter for you and your company, specific to your company. I have an example of a civil contractor in Florida doing $5.1 million. If you want this done for you, I've actually built a ChatGPT GPT that's in the description below in a link. You just give it a couple questions, a couple answers. It's going to calculate all this and tell you exactly what's wrong with your business and compare to the industry standard. At the same time, it's completely free. Now, if you want to take that a step further, at SPM, the Construction CFO, this is all we do. We help people identify my cost of goods of sold is too high. How do I reduce it? How do I increase revenue? How do I decrease my overhead? It's abstract thoughts, but when you actually try to go do it, it's not that easy. So if you want help with your specific business, reach out, Josh at constructioncfo.net. Happy to help you. With that, we're going to get into this. So we have our revenue at $5.1 million. We've talked about this in other videos, but for those who haven't seen those, revenue is a 12-month span or however month span. It could be 3, it could be 2 years, whatever. It's a span of money that's billed and that is minus retention. So think of revenue. If I haven't received it, it's still revenue. It's still on paper. But if I haven't received it because I'm waiting 90 days, 6 months, 45 days, whatever it is for you, that's why you don't feel it, is because revenue is just what you've built. And that can be artificially inflated. We have our cost of goods sold, cost of services, cost of construction. It doesn't matter what you call it, but what that means is how much did it cost you when you build that $5.1 million, how much did it cost you to build that project? Not all the other ancillary things you own in the business, but it was $3.6 million of labor and materials and subcontractors and all of the things. So that's a really important number to know. And if we take your revenue minus your cost of goods sold, we're left with our gross profit. I have gross margin set up here. Margin is the percent, profit is the dollar. Margin is more important because if I change this to 10 million, 30% matters a lot more because it's going to tell me exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to double both. If I put the dollar amount, $100,000 sounds nice, but you'll see later it's not. So what we do is figure out our gross margin. That's actually 30%. I've already done the math. So 30% gross margin. That's a really healthy gross margin for a civil contractor. That's actually on par with what I see all the time. We're going to look at our expenses. Expenses are complicated because it's anything else that we pay for. And that could be software, estimating, the office admin, consulting. It can be literally anything that it's not required to build the project, but it's required for your business or that you spent money on in your business to be in business this year. 12-month span still. So if we take our overhead here, we're going to make it a percentage, and that's 1.4 divided by 5.1. That's actually 28%. Now, 28% overhead is ridiculous. That's high, and I see it a lot. And part of it could be some of it's needing to be into cost of goods sold. Some of it is, I'm spending way too much on this software. Like they increased their price so long on this payroll software that I didn't even notice that I was spending this much money. I need to renegotiate. A big one is like your internet provider, your Comcast. It's gone up to $3,000 a month. That's ridiculous, but I see it all the time. It's an easy way to cut some of that out. But what this tells us is we have a net profit left over of 5.1 minus 3.6 minus 1.4, we're left with $100,000. Now, net profit of $100,000 sounds amazing, but most business owners aren't necessarily paying themselves any salary guaranteed, or if they are, it's like I'm guaranteeing myself $40,000, $50,000, $70,000 just to survive, and I'm left over with this profit. And that's me. I'm the owner. I get that extra amount. But when you think about $100,000, if we're going to take that out of the business, or even if we're not, we're going to be taxed on it, and that's at 35%. What we're really left over with for net profit is $65K that's actually spendable. The rest of that goes straight to the government. So that's fun. So I don't know about you, 65K. Some people, that's all that they get is this 100K, and if it's a $0 year, they just don't get anything, and that's really horrible. So I hate that for them. We're going to look down here though. We're going to go to net margin. So this is our profit again, 65K. That's after taxes. We're going to go with 100K. What that means is in percentage, we're only making 2%. So if you really think about this, doing $5.1 million, you have 20 people on your team calling out sick. You have equipment that's breaking down. You have vendors calling you saying, hey, you owe me for pipe or concrete or whatever for the last 90 days. How come you're not getting this? You're calling your general contractors every week trying to just collect a paycheck just to survive and pay payroll so you can keep collecting money. That's a big headache. That is a lot of heartburn. I personally would never own a business if I was making $100,000 doing all that work, 24/7, because you wake up at 2 a.m. stressed out. That's why we care about this percentage. So if I look at this, if I double that, imagine doubling your revenue. You're not just going to double your team. You're going to quadruple your stress, because people are a different level of multiplication than math. So this 2%, you're doing 10 million, you're actually only going to get 2%. That's $200,000. You did $10 million, really stressed out, even more. That's why this never works when you look at this stuff. But we're going to stick down here. We're going to look at this net margin, because I really want to hone in on this. If you think about 1% of this $5 million is around $50,000. That's a lot of money. So if I can reduce my overhead from 28%, because that's high again, the industry average overhead, fun fact, is 7 to 10%. 7 to 13%, sorry. You're only allowed 10% on a change order. So every time you do a change order, you're paying 18% to do it. That's fun. But whatever. That's how things are on here. So we're going to say if this was 27%, you're actually going to make an extra 50K. So you're at 150K. All you did was fine-tune your overhead. You stop spending so much on a consultant that's not doing something, or your accounting system that's super expensive, or honing in how quickly your processes happen so your team is not bogged down and wasting hours and spending overtime. Simple things like that. So we're going to simulate. If I took this example and I reduced my overhead to 25% instead of 28%, I'm actually going to be at $250,000. Now that's more worth it. I mean, I'm not asking for the world, right? We're not asking for 28 to become 13, albeit that would be quite a bit of money, and we'd be happy with that. But right now we're at 250. Now if we reduce it, say it's 1% a month, 1% every 2 months, whatever, we can get down to 20% in a year. In 8 months, or 12 months, we could drop 8%. We would be overhead. We're going to double this, right? So we're talking 500K. The struggle is when you look at this number on this high level, not granular view, I don't know why my expenses are 1.4 million. It's not broken out in any way that makes any sense. If you go dig into your P&L, you might be able to figure it out. But again, these are the conversations we have every day. It's just, I want to see people just be more efficient. You have all this money coming in. It doesn't have to all go to other things, other people, whatever else. It can stay with you. It's not, this overhead is not required for your business to stay in business the way it is. If you're really good, it is, but that's going to be, 10%. But when you're at 28, 30, 39, I've seen, that's really ridiculous for overhead. And it's not really worth all the headache. Just think about honing it down a little bit, increase your profit margins. But this is an example. Again, if you want that GPT, it's in the description below. Please use it, and it will tell you which part of these is a problem and where and why, and it'll tell you what to focus on.